Tomorrow, you and your fellow Republican lawmakers are going to object. Just walk the people through the process.
Yes, we're going to go through the states. As we open up the envelopes, the Vice President, of course, will be presiding over the joint session, which starts at 1 o'clock tomorrow. We start out with Alabama, and we go all the way through alphabetically. He will ask if there's an objection, and on certain states there will be objections. I can promise you that. You'll see a ton of people coming up here that are going to be supportive of an open and transparent investigation so that we can see that we have a fair process. We have been thwarted at every turn trying to get courts and officials to look at these numbers and some of the irregularities and anomalies that took place, enormous spikes at 2:30 in the morning. The Dominion voting systems and switching of votes and creases not being present, and and hundreds of thousands of ballots that are supposed to have been folded up and put in secrecy envelopes. Only one candidate. Instead of down ballot votes, it's only one candidate for the President of the United States. 90% or better, usually for Biden. It's been just one thing after the other. Taking and using the excuse of COVID to really illegally change state voting laws, which can only be changed by those states' legislatures, not to be changed by secretaries of state or voting officials or local officials, or even a governor cannot make those changes. And so that's why I think you're going to see so many of us, probably 100 plus in the House, be trying to keep this thing from going through and trying to stop the steal, as that's what they're calling this.
Congressman, I've got to ask you about Vice President Pence. All eyes are on what he may do. Have you, your staff, anybody on the Hill that you have communication with, has anybody from the Vice President's office given you an indication on what he's going to do tomorrow?
I have not talked to anyone regarding that. I did meet with the Vice President last week at the White House with a number of us who are planning to do this and object to these numbers. The President, the Vice President was there. I know this. I know there's a lot of pressure on Vice President Pence. He's going to be presiding over the joint session, as I said earlier. I know Vice President Pence. I know him to be a very principled man, a very devout Christian. I know he's going to do the right thing. He'll do what he thinks is right, and he'll go ahead with that. That's what I'm very confident of that.
Congressman, I want to switch gears. Of course, your body gavelled in 117th Congress. Nancy Pelosi and the Socialist Democrats are the ones in charge. And I wanted to play a soundbite of because you mentioned that Vice President Pence is a good Christian man. You can't say the same about my political enemies, the Democrat Socialists. I want to play for what passes as a prayer from Democrats and get you to respond. Listen.
We ask it in the name of the monotheistic God, Brahma, and God known by many names, by many different faiths. Amen and a woman.
Amen and a woman, says the Democrat Socialist Party. They did that on top of getting rid of terms that define the basis of human society, the American family, which is mother, father, sister, brother, getting rid of those terms out of the government lexicon. Your reaction, Congressman, to the priorities of those across the political aisle?
Well, I was sitting right there when that prayer was uttered. I know that gentleman to be. I've heard his testimony before, and I was stunned to hear him say that. But this tells you what we can expect under a Biden administration, and especially since they control the House. If they win these 2 Senate seats tonight, we can see this radical agenda pushed down our throats when we can't stop it, and it will be a disaster. So